Hi all, Jessie B Scrapbooking back with another process video. This one is for Mixed Media Mayhem. I'm supposed to use a stencil, paint, and embossing, which I can't do because I have no way of embossing. Here's the picture I'm going to do. This is my husband and my son, and they're putting in a window and an escalator. Okay, so I have a lot of unnecessary space in this picture because I was sitting in the pickup and took the picture, and so I have like the door and everything. So I decided to cut the picture into a circle and then use these two stencils. One is gears and the other one is just a whole bunch of little circles, and kind of embrace the circle theme. So the gears, I'm just using regular ink, and I'm using my little makeup applicator to put the ink through the stencil. It works actually really good. I'm going to use, I think, a couple different colors of gold and a silver. So the light is really bright, and so it doesn't really show up that how well this actually does work. So I am getting it on there. The next color shows up, I think, a little bit brighter, but yeah, I really think this turned out really cute. I love all the gears in the background. So I'm just going to use the same dauber and put it on because it's all in the gold, and so I'm just going to use that one and see how much brighter that one is. So I'm kind of going for an angled look, so from the right or top left down to the bottom right, a little bit. I mean, it kind of goes where it wants to go, but I do keep it a little bit more into that angled design. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, here's the silver I'm going to use. And so I grabbed a new makeup applicator for it. And these applicators actually work really well with that point on the end. And I've actually never used these as what they're intended for. I've always, yeah, I don't wear makeup, so I've never used them for that. But I found them at the dollar store, and so I figured I'd try it for ink. And it works really well. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do there. And then I will bring in this stencil, and it's just a whole bunch of polka dots. And I'm going to use my puffy paint here. So this is the paint part of the recipe that we're supposed to be using. And I'm just putting it right through the stencil. And it is black glitter. And so it's nice and glittery and kind of has that messy feel to it, that grunge feel to it. And so I'm going to put it at that same angled, and yeah, just right around the gears that I've already put down. So get those all on there, and then I set that off to the dry, the side to dry. Now I'm going to go through this paper pad scraps and pull out stuff that I want to make other circles and the mat for my photo, and use these scraps as that. So while I'm doing this, I'll let you know that the embossing doesn't happen on here at all. So you could say that the puffy paint kind of is embossed because it is raised, so it has that texture. But basically I just ignored that whole part of the recipe because I don't have any kind of like embossing folders to do paper embossing, and I have absolutely no embossing powder I have never gotten into that part of it. I mean, I love it, and I have a friend that has some, and I've used it, but I don't own anything like that. So, here I have the one mat, the kind of off-white mat, and now I want to use this rust-colored one as a mat, but as you can see, it's not big enough. So I'm thinking, and I came up with an idea. So I'm just going to do most of the circle here and get that all drawn out. And then I'm going to move it down and do the other part of the circle that I'll be missing on the bottom. And the whole time I was doing this, I'm like, oh, I hope this works, because, yeah, I only have this one little piece of this paper left. And it does work. When I drew it out a little bigger, about a 1/4 inch bigger than the circle. And it worked perfect for going on there. So I do distress all the edges of all the paper, because when you cut things out with your scissors, especially circles, you notice every little bit of the scissors if you didn't get it perfect. And so distressing it will hide that line, so it doesn't look like it's supposed to be a nice crisp straight line. It's already distressed, so I love the way that it works. I punch out some, and then I cut out some more with a smaller, I think I used I don't remember, a lid to something. So I did that off camera. So they're all cut out now, and my paper is dry. This is actually the next morning. And so now I'm just kind of placing them where I can still see the, what you call it, gears in the background. And I'm just trying to make the round circles a part of the design, not covering up all that inked stenciling. I do go into my little metal gears here, and I'm going to kind of play with them and add them to this. Now here's where I messed up. I left my picture off, and then because I was thinking, oh, I might want to stick stuff underneath of it, which I do, and I left it off, and then I'm like, oh, that's moving around too much, so I glued it down. And then my daughter's watching me, sitting across from me, and she's like, Mom, that picture would look a lot better if it was popped up. And she's right. So you'll see me here in a second rip that picture off and pop it up onto some foam. And I do like it a lot better. And then that way I'm able to get some of these gears, these metal gears that are a little bit more dimensional, to be able to slide underneath and be more cohesive in the whole layout. And so I'm just getting that popped up on foam. I'm using both liquid glue and ATG to make sure that foam stays adhered. So I got those, and then the glue that I'm using to stick down these metal gears is Elmer's Craft glue, something. And it works really good because it dries a little bit more flexible, so they don't go popping off. Okay, while I'm arranging the gears and getting them all glued down here in a second, I want to remind everyone that this is the Mixed Media Mayhem hop. There is a list of people down in the description box that are playing along. Make sure you go and check everybody out that is using the same recipe and seeing what they come up with. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and they come up with some really, really good ideas. I think this recipe was came from Sandy Reversky over at Steak Goddess. I think she's the one that came up with this, if I remember right. But I do like the recipe, and I do need to do something about embossing for later on. But for now, we're just going to go with what I got. So here's the finished layout. I did off camera do a doodly border all the way around just because I feel like it needed to be framed in. But so thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Bye.